This example here is my favorite type of quadratic to solve because most of the work has already been done for me. Since this quadratic has already been factored into two binomials, meaning they have two terms each, but it's plus or minus, we get to use something called the zero product property. And I'll write that down. And the idea behind the zero product property is that if two things multiply by each other and they equal 0, well, one of them has to be 0 or the other one has to be 0, which leaves us, in this case, with two solutions that'll both make this entire thing 0. And if we think about it in terms of a graph, it's going to give us the two zeros on the graph where the parabola meet the x-axis. So let's take a look at how we could figure out how to make each one of these terms equal to 0. So all I'm going to really do here is I'm going to write them out as two little tiny algebra problems like we did earlier in the year, and we're just going to solve them. We're just going to solve each one separately, and then when we write our answers, we're going to write x equals one thing or x equals the other thing, and both of them will work. So let's solve this. X equals 2/3. So that's one of our solutions. And then I'll switch colors so things don't get too confusing here. X plus 4 is going to also equal 0. We're going to solve that one. This one's pretty simple, huh? Forgot to put my little dotted line, sorry. And x is going to equal -4. And this is my solution. One thing that I want to caution you against is that when you have two answers, some people like to put a comma between them, and then they're like, well, that looks like an ordered pair, and I'll put parentheses around them too. This is definitely not an ordered pair. It's not a point, 2/3 -4. It's x equals 2/3 and x equals -4. So there are two separate solutions, but both of them work.